Matt, I feel like Tom and I have both kind of talked a lot about our businesses, but how do you make money nowadays? We haven't really heard from you and what you're doing. Uh,
Well, funny. What happened with me was, you guys know me. I was doing social media director, which was my course. I did that for a long time, and I started kind of losing my passion for doing that. And then I was focused on growing internet masterminds, and I wanted to create chapters all over the world with internet masterminds. From October of 2019 until like March or so, or whatever it was, February, just before COVID hit, we were building up our chapters, and it was working really well. We were selling licenses for people to have chapters in various cities. And then when COVID hit, we couldn't do events anymore. I just didn't want to do online events. I was like, my whole thing was doing live events and creating content from live events, right? And so then I just started kind of doing some agency work here and there. People just randomly contacted me and asked me to help with different things. But what happened was I watched Grant Cardone on Undercover Billionaire. Did you guys see that?
I know what you're talking about.
episode
Okay,
one.
so there's someone who took a clip. So on season 2 of Undercover Billionaire, someone took all the clips of Grant Cardone and put it on YouTube. It's like a 6-hour video on YouTube. Otherwise, you have to watch the whole season, and there's like 3 different stories going on, right? But what was interesting about watching him is what he ended up doing to build this like $1 million valuation business was starting an agency, right? And basically he was going to businesses that were local in the area saying, hey, we'll help you, do your YouTube and your podcast. We'll help you make your content, all that kind of stuff. And in the process of making this show and figuring out how to make a podcast, how to do a YouTube show, all the editing, all that stuff, part of the reason why I want to stick with the framework for our show being kind of like news and discussions about current events and so on is because I believe that it can be replicated for any industry. And I think that news, the way that we're doing it now, is something that's going to be on trend. I think people don't notice that kind of just taking articles or news that's already trending and then talking about it, like commentary on that. There's a lot of people who have built channels in niches, right? Even looking at, like, I watch a lot of the Marvel movie breakdowns. That's kind of the same thing. They're like, here's what Kevin Feige announced, and here's what's going to happen in the next Marvel movie. And they build huge audiences around this niche, around people who like,
Have you watched
that
She-Hulk
genre of
yet?
film. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm actually really getting out of this Marvel stuff because I have a feeling it's going to get real woke real soon. So
Woke?
I didn't even watch Thor.
It's going to?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys don't know. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but yeah, I was. I waited. I watched Doctor Strange on Disney Plus. I didn't see it in theaters, and same with like Thor. I didn't go to theater to watch it. Anyways, that's another topic. Basically, that's what I started doing is just more agency work. But what's funny about doing the agency work is like I thought, I could. Because I know I can get clients, and I was like, I can scale to 20 clients real quick, and then boom, $1 million valuation business, right? Kind of like what he had done on the show. And as soon as I started doing it, I realized that like it really takes building a team and the right people in order to like make this whole thing work, right? And I found that when I really like doing is copywriting, right? And when I'm doing my copy and building these sales pages, like I'm in my zone, I'm in my creative space, I feel good about it. After I finish writing, I'm on my phone looking at the Google Doc and just looking at it and just, fixing little things here and there and just getting all consistent. And it really becomes like an art form, So it's like, and I look at like, I get paid pretty well to write copy, and then I'm getting paid pretty good to do all these other mechanics of business. Like a lot of it is like, their website, front end, their conversion rate optimization, getting them traffic, all that kind of stuff, which I could build a team around doing all that stuff. But I'm not enjoying as much of the management of all those people doing all those things.
Yeah.
But that is scalable, right? But then what I enjoy is I love getting a project that pay me a ton of money, and I spend a week or two and I just zone in on this topic and I just write the best sales page possible. Like, this last 2 weeks I had these 2 big deadlines and I wrote 2 big launches. One of them was with one JV. We did 50K over the weekend, and they wanted to extend the offer over a week. I'm like, but they're only emailing for 3 days, so just make it a 3-day offer, and it worked. And we also changed the pricing and the packages or whatever, and then like they seemed pretty happy about it. I was pretty happy about it, right? Now I just finished, because I was on this time crunch. I only had a week to finish it. I just boom crammed it in, and that was a great week. And then the next week I had to do the next sales page. Same thing happened. I was on a deadline, and then just like worked super hard on it, right? So I've basically been doing marketing for other people right now. And although I do enjoy it, I don't see it as being scalable. And that's where I'm kind of challenged right now with trying to figure out, what, if something happens to me now, like I can't keep writing copy, or like I have to build a team, or do something else that,
What if
I also realize,
high copywriting is one of the highest paid per hour jobs. What if,
right.
And you're quite right, like if you're in a coma, you can't write copy and your company stops working, but you could spend a year or two, avoid any traffic accidents and, stay safe. And if you're making like $500,000, $1 million a year, do that for 2 or 3 years and you're doing, you're probably set, right? And like you're already getting paid 6 figures for some of these deals, I believe. So, I mean, that's rare, and that's you've got a client that's paid that, which means you can get more clients that pay that. 2 or 3 years of that, and you've got angel investing money. You can invest in other companies.
That's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm just like stacking cash, right? Yeah. Like it's working. I'm making money, but I'm like, I need to like build a real business, do something. Like it's not, right now. I'm self-employed, right? Before, when I was doing social media director, it was great too. Sure, I was self-employed, but like I'm selling a course. It was $2,500. If people took payment plans and so on, it turned into like $3,200. But it was the challenge was like the delivery. Sorry, it wasn't challenge. It was like the good part was the delivery was all taken care of. It was easy to deliver, right? So all I had to do was go and find more affiliates and JV partners, right? And then just boom, boom, we're making money, right? But it's like, because I'm so not passionate about it, it's so hard for me to do that right now. It's so hard to make a course for me right now. Even though like I know, I keep thinking about, if I do social media director again, I know exactly what I could teach, right? But it's like, there's just something in me that I just don't want to do it right now. I don't know. I should maybe get over it, but that's where it's like more scalable. Even though I'm still technically self-employed, it's a lot more scalable. Whereas right now it's like, I got to, I don't know. I got to figure that out. But that's that cash.
I feel
I'm
you
always
though,
looking for opportunities.
But I feel you on that too, because like I was there in a way, because I was doing. It seems like maybe a somewhat similar to you. You might be doing more design, like you do the pages and the design and the funnels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I did launches, a lot of times it would be more like copy, sequences, not necessarily touching the tech per se, the tech or the design, but it was the same deal. It's like you can make quick cash with it, but when it comes to like a particular, I guess the particular eye to put these things together, that's not very scalable. And it's kind of like, so it's like, stack the cash and move on to something else. And I that's one of the reasons why InfoStack was appealing to me. I was like, I don't have to hustle my own stuff. Like I got really tired of having to like market my own programs. I didn't like putting myself in the limelight, but if I can market somebody else's, it's easier to sell for me. Like, if that makes sense. I know it's very strange.
That's exactly, yeah. I was even like, because I bought socialmediadirector.com, so I think it's a great domain name, right?
Where's the hyphen?
I was even looking.
You dash?
There's no, I don't put dashes. Socialmediadirector.com, that's it.
Hyphen director dash.
Yeah. But I was looking for somebody else that I thought that they could teach the course. I could just do all the marketing for it, right? Which I would love. So I did talk to some people about that, right? I also have different ideas of like what to do with that course. So I think that if I did want to target that industry again, I think I know enough now that I think that it could do very well. I think I could do $1 million launch with that. But it's just a matter of like, you got to be passionate about whatever you're doing. I also realized actually that I think a lot of people struggle with this right now. Not just me. I've been noticing it a lot more, is that I was watching an old video of myself speaking at, it was actually at the Science World IMAX Theater. I rented out the theater. I did a whole presentation. There's like 300 people there, right? And I was randomly watching this video of myself. And I remember while I was watching it, I was like, that guy was like not me now. That guy like really cared about the audience. He really cared. I was teaching from the heart, right? Whereas now I feel like
you're jaded and all about the money, right? That's all about.
It's not that. It's really not that. What it is like I realize that now. Like I started to feel, and I think a lot of people feel this. It's like I started to feel like resentment towards my community because of all this kind of stuff that's going on. I just kind of feel like I don't know that I just it's like the part of me that really cares is like not there, right?
What do you
even
mean?
Like looking at like
when you say your community, you mean the people who would previously attend your events, buy your products, and all that, or you mean other people? I
mean, because I just feel like people online are the same people who are in the real world. Like some people are like so against online dating, right? But I'm like, the people online are the same people who are outside, right? So when reaching like a mass audience, right? You look at some people who reach mass audiences, look at all the hate that comes and all the naysayers and all that kind of stuff, which I know that's part of, you become popular, you're going to get haters, you're going to people talking shit, all that. I get that part of it, right? But I used to not really care about that at all. I shouldn't say like it was just completely like, I did not care if I had haters. I measured my success by how many haters that I had. Right? Because I was like, the more popular you are, the more haters you will get, right? But I was also very passionate about what I was doing, right? So, but because it's like there's always this kind of like feeling of like, right now, again, self-employed, not, feeling like I'm building a business. I'm not on a mission. So I don't have that same level of passion. So it's kind of like in that way, I was like, but also I want to be able to genuinely be able to like help people and figure out that side, right? So that's why when I'm doing my copyright, doing the marketing, and I'm seeing success for these clients and they're happy with it, like I enjoy that, right? It's like I'm getting some joy from it. But so I think that's kind of the part. Like I was actually gonna go back to this Grant Cardone on Undercover Billionaire. I'm not a big Grant Cardone fan. I don't watch his content and stuff, and nothing really against him. I just never really was into it. But when I saw him on the show, I really liked it. And when I was looking back, diagnosing why I kind of really fell in love with Grant Cardone during that show, it's because in that show, he cares. He's just like there, like the way he ended up building his business was he would say, contacts equals contracts, right? So he's always about like, it's who you know, right? But when he was going to those people, he's not trying to like use them, right? Like you could tell he genuinely cared. He's like, the only way he's going to get successful is if he can make them successful, right? But then going back and looking at him on YouTube, and he's got more ego, maybe some arrogance or whatever it is, right? I had someone else point out to me that there was a clip with him and he got Gary Vee on a show. And Gary Vee is all about caring. And then when you see the contrast between Grant Cardone and Gary Vee, it just made Grant Cardone not look very good, right? Because it feels like he doesn't care. He's all about the money. He's all about, whatever, that sort of thing, right? So I think that's really important. Anyone building a personal brand, creating content, I think that people can tell that you care. And I think when you care, that's when it really comes out, So it's like, even making the show, like, this is a show that I wish existed. So I care about the stuff that we talk about. I think it's important that the show exists. And that's why I keep doing it. That's why I really enjoy doing it, right? And also the whole process of making it has been like a big learning experience in itself, like just figuring this whole thing out, right? So
how do you
that's kind of where I'm at
how do
now.
you kickstart caring if you've lost it? I feel like I've gotten emails from people about that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how do I rekindle the fire? I thought that too.
When I discovered that I had resentment towards my community, I shared it with a group of friends. And then I was surprised that everybody resonated with it. Everyone was like, me too. And everyone started talking about why, right? This is all this COVID stuff and, vaccine, like that big thing. Now there's a lot of like censorship. Do you agree in censorship, or do you think freedom of speech? Like there's a lot of division within, I would say, in North America, right? With kind of what's going on, right? And my whole thing maybe started even before that, right? And so it's interesting now, because now I'm trying to figure out like what do I care about? Why do I want to do what I do? And it's like the thing that drives me is writing the sales page, my client telling me that it made them, millions of dollars, over the last couple of years, or like, doing $50K in a weekend for them, and then telling me, hey, that was awesome. Let's keep going. Like that, like makes me excited. Right. But I'm, again, just growing their business, but then a lot of their businesses, they're passionate about their business and they're helping people. So it's like that, I feel like I could help more people. I'm not taking anyone as a client that's doing some bullshit, right? But they're helping more people, right? So I mean, I don't know what the real answer is, because I've been like in a discovery phase. I'm out here looking for opportunities, and also looking for like, getting that drive, that passion, and that ability to like really care. I think that's what is going to build a business. But it's been interesting the last 2 years, because it's like I've been kind of low key, but learning a lot, doing a lot, still having a lot of success. And I know when I find my next thing, I know I'm gonna blow it up, right? It's just a matter of time.